Now, let's talk about the actual rehabilitation of the city. Will you rezone and replan the city? Are you waiting for a master plan like they did in Yolanda before you actually start?
Well, actually, the basis of the rehabilitation plan is what we call the post-conflict needs assessment. We have about 93 barangays in Marawi City, and 49 barangays were subjected already to the post-conflict needs assessment. The remaining 47 barangays have to be, the conduct of the PCNA was suspended because of still the presence of the stragglers. So huminto muna yung nagkakandak ng PCNA. So I have given instruction na yung result ng PCNA for the 49 barangays will be subjected to right shop para magkaroon na kami ng initial rehabilitation plan for the first 49 barangays. But we need the whole 96 barangays.
Oo, tama ka dun, sir. But what would you do? For example, if I'm a resident and nabomba yung bahay ko, will somebody else build it for me, or will you give me money and I spend to build my own home?
Well,
how would you do it in my own land?
Okay.
What would you do if I own the land?
Initially, this is the plan of the government. Yung wala nang babalikan na lupa at bahay dahil hindi naman kanya yung bahay dahil squatter siya. Yung tinitirhan niyang bahay na pinagawa niya, na sunog or nasira, bibigyan siya ng package, house and lot.
Yung kanya yung lupa or yung hindi kanya ang lupa?
Hindi kanya ang lupa kasi siya squatter.
Okay.
So lahat ng mga squatter na wala ng bahay, wala naman silang lupa in the first place, bibigyan sila, they will be resettled by the government. So they will be given house and lot.
In Marawi City still?
In Marawi City.
Hindi to sa bundok because inirereklamo yan eh.
Yes.
How would you, where would you do it there?
Kasi nangyayari sa ibang mga resettlement, walang consultation. Itong gagawin namin ay talagang we will ensure that the beneficiaries are consulted, the local government is with us in this project, and together we will determine the site that is acceptable to the beneficiaries.
Okay. What if you own the land? So you talked about pag squatter ka, then you will be given house and lot in a designated area which will be yours. But what if you own the land?
Now, if you don't like to be resettled
you own
in
the land,
resettlement area because you have a lot, the allocation for the house construction for those to be permanently resettled, the corresponding amount will be given to them. That is 210,000 pesos.
To rebuild?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's worth 5 million, you spend the rest of the rebuilding your house.
But we can, between us,
we can provide
200,000 pesos is nothing today.
Yeah, well, that's the what the government can afford at the moment.
Now, have you counted, sir, how many residents there own the land?
So far, what the figure that we had was given by the local government unit. About 6,300 or 6,400 would like to live in the transitional shelter, and for those who would like to avail of the permanent shelter is about 2,747.
Now, if you said 6,000 need transitional shelters and you only have 500 to 700 by the end of the year, what do you do with the rest? I mean, you have more than...
The target is actually 1,175
okay.
in this per site.
Yeah.
Over first quarter of 2018, that will be completed. So we'll be able to provide 1,175. At the moment, we are asking the local government also to look for additional lots so that we can start the site development of future lots for the temporary shelter.
And who is spending when it comes to the permanent shelter?
Well, that is a very good use for permanent shelter. We got information just this week. Representative of the San Miguel Foundation approached us and informed me that Mr. Ang would like to donate 5,000 housing units permanent for Marawi.
Wow.
I said that is not needed because the requirement is just 2,700 at the moment. But they can go as high as 5,000 units. We will go there tomorrow with the San Miguel Foundation, look for the site so that they can start right away. Mr. Ang would like to start the development of the permanent housing right away.
That's fabulous. Actually, I've seen San Miguel build in other not war-torn areas, but those devastated by typhoons, flooding, and they use NGOs though. So are you okay with that? Sometimes they use Habitat for Humanity or Gawad Kalinga.
It will
Where do
be
you stand with that?
in-house on the part of the San Miguel.
But, so they can choose.
Yes, it's San Miguel who will be the one to do do everything. It's a turnkey. After the completion, and it is a township. Subdivision type. Kaya napakaganda nitong ibinibigay ng San Miguel Foundation through Mr. Ang. At talagang, kumbaga, para bang lumiit ang problema ng ating gobyerno because of the benevolence of San Miguel.
Okay, where do you start? I mean, you told me off-air that the difference between Yolanda and Marawi was the Yolanda area was much bigger.
Yes, definitely. We are talking about one province, specifically Marawi City, which is about 8,000 hectares.
Okay.
So, ang effect nito, ang concentration ng government is quite limited, but we have to really deliver because napakalaki nitong issue, especially on the lives of our Muslim brothers. So we really have to deliver. Hindi yung mga comments regarding Yolanda, napakabagal ng tulong. Actually, hindi pa nga natatapos yung actual problem on the ground. Ang transitional shelter natin nagsisimula na 2 months, 3 months ago.
Okay, let's talk about first the transitional shelter. No, this is not yet the actual rehab kasi transitional lang ito. So with the transitional shelters, how many do you already have? It says here that you target 700 by December?
It's about 500 to 600, parang conservative estimate. We can go as high as 700. It depends kasi on the weather condition on the ground. Ang Marawi weather is unpredictable. And basically, our workers start at 6 in the morning. Matatapos sila at 12 noon dahil babagsak na ang ulan. So they work half day lang. Kaya ang nangyayari, instead of 1 day work, nagiging 6 hours ang work day nila.
Okay, and where do you build it? Do you have land?
We are given by the local government unit with a 13-hectare property, but that is actually inside the military reservation. So nagagawa tayo dyan ng, our target is 1,175, and we say that we can deliver 500 to 600 by December. And this 1,175 will be completed by the first quarter of 2018.
Okay, and who is building the transitional shelter? Because clearly, this transitional shelter will be home to the residents, I think, for at least a year, some of them.
Maybe 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Actually, napakaganda nung ginagawang transitional shelter dahil first sinimulan namin yung site development. At yung the whole site itself ay magiging community. Merong cemented ang karsada nila, at yung building na gagawin yung house is steel wall framing.
So who's spending for this?
It's the government.
The government. Who's building it? Is it NHA?
Actually, the NHA has contractors. Marami siyang mga contractors na approve nila. Sinabihan nila ito ang term of preference at yan ang gagawin mo.
And you trust these contractors given that we saw in the previous report that the Yolanda residents nagre-reklamo that they were dancing houses. Kumbaga, ang reklamo, sir, ang foundation daw is very shallow. Tas the steel frames were too small for the house.
This is different kasi nag-undergo sila ng process at kailangan accredited ka ng NHA. Yung gagamitin mong materials, pati ang size, accredited by NHA. At talagang 7.2 magnitude, hindi siya kayang ibagsak.
Really?
Even the 250 km per hour.
Kahit transitional house lang, ha?
Yes.
And how many square meters is this?
It's 22 square meters with toilet and bath inside, electricity, and yung plumbing for water. They will have water inside.
Okay.
Now, the smoking ban, which the president has been known for, he was known to implement this properly and very strictly in Davao City. We already have an executive order for this smoking ban nationwide. How do you actually fully implement it? There have been a lot of concerns whether that was tenable in the first place.
Yeah, well, it's daunting to say the least, but we have to implement it just the same. It's an executive order. The first thing we ought to do is to learn from the success stories of the Davao City and the Makati City in terms of their banning smoking in public areas and in consonance with their ordinances, because of course they were authorized by virtue of their local ordinances. And so here we have the EO for national implementation. We'll try to learn from them, but I think we have to be, again, innovative. We have to be more creative. We have to have a well-crafted social marketing campaign strategy to make sure that the strategies work. It's not enough to say no smoking here or putting up signs such as that, but it's probably going to make it more informative. Say, what are the penalties that one might expect if caught in violation of the ban? What would be the worst case scenario after many times that you get caught? Do you end up in jail, and for how long, and etc., etc. So I think there's space for improvement to existing strategies in implementing the no smoking policy in public.
Basically, the fear factor.
No, we put the fear factor.
How about putting the face of the president and warning them of the consequences?
Yeah,
would that be enough?
Well, I'll have to ask permission from the president.